You know, sometimes the biggest business opportunities don't come from inventing something brand new. They come from being in exactly the right place at the right time with the perfect strategy. So let's dive into this story of how a massive regulatory shakeup in Ontario's waste industry is creating the perfect opening for a specialized, really nimble player. Okay, I want you to circle this date on your calendar, January 1st, 2026. This isn't just another New Year's Day. For an entire industry, it's pretty much a hard reset. We're talking about decades of established practices for how businesses handle their recycling getting completely upended by one single, sweeping policy change.
Now, whenever a system gets disrupted this profoundly, it usually creates chaos, right? For thousands of businesses, it's going to be a sudden, unexpected headache they have to solve. But for one specialized logistics company, 905 Wood, this disruption, it isn't a crisis at all. It's what you'd call a once-in-a-generation opportunity. So, what is actually happening in 2026? It's really a one-two punch. First, on January 1st, the Blue Box recycling program becomes fully privatized. The critical side effect here is that municipalities are just going to stop collecting recyclables from most businesses. Then, just a few months later, a proposed new levy is set to begin, which is going to make it way more expensive to send waste to the landfill.
This is where our case study, 905 Wood, steps onto the stage. Now, they aren't one of the waste giants, but their incredibly focused business model makes them perfectly positioned to thrive in this brand new environment. I love this slide because it shows such a stark contrast. On one side, you've got the industry giants. Think of them like massive oil tankers. They're powerful for sure, but they are slow to turn. And on the other side, you've got 95 Wood, which is more like a speedboat. They are specialized, focusing only on wood waste. They're lean, built on efficiency, not a bunch of venture capital. And their secret weapon? They are powered by AI, which lets them navigate these changing waters with just incredible agility.
Okay, so let's break down their first big advantage, this absolutely massive service gap that's about to open up right across the province.
The really crucial point here is kind of buried in the fine print of this whole Blue Box transition. See, it's designed for our homes, for residential recycling. The knock-on effect is that thousands of industrial, commercial, and institutional properties, that's the ICIs, young government docs, so just think small factories, restaurants, schools, are all about to lose their municipal recycling service. Just poof.
And this really shows you the scale of the opportunity we're talking about. It's literally thousands of orphan clients all across Ontario's industrial heartland. These are businesses that are going to be scrambling to find private contractors, especially for specialty waste like the wood pallets and crating that aren't really part of the typical recycling streams.
But that service gap is really only half the story. The second huge advantage comes from a new government policy that's designed to make throwing things away a lot more expensive. Basically, the government is intentionally tipping the economic scales. For decades, it's often been cheaper just to landfill your waste than to recycle it. Well, these new levies are designed to completely reverse that, using financial pressure to force businesses to find greener alternatives.
And you can see that pressure building right here on this chart. The proposed CIRCL levy, it starts at $10 a ton in 2026, but look, it's designed to climb steadily, all the way to $60 per ton within a decade. For any business generating a decent amount of waste, this cost is going to become a really serious line item on their budget.
And this is where 905 Wood's strategy gets really smart. They don't just sell wood recycling, they sell levy avoidance. Their service becomes a financial tool that helps companies save actual money by diverting wood from the landfill and, you guessed it, avoiding these new rising fees.
So where does all this wood even go? Well, it's not just about avoiding the landfill. It's about feeding a whole new industry. The bioeconomy is hungry for clean wood to create things like biocoal and renewable natural gas. How hungry? Just one company, Char Technologies, needs a staggering 180,000 tons of it every single year. And this right here is why 905 Wood is uniquely equipped to supply them. A standard dumpster bin just can't move feedstock at the scale the bioeconomy needs. It's not efficient. But 905 Wood operates these massive 144-yard trailers, specifically designed for hauling bulky, low-density material like wood. They can haul way more efficiently. Okay, so they've got the market opportunity, and they've got the right equipment. But how does a smaller, unfunded company actually compete with the giants? Well, the answer is their secret weapon, a super lean, tech-driven operational model.
This quote really just gets to the absolute heart of their strategy. It is all about offering the kind of round-the-clock service and responsiveness that usually requires a huge back-office team, but doing it with just a fraction of the overhead. That is how you outmaneuver the big guys.
So, let's look under the hood at their tech for a second. This isn't just about, using email better. They've integrated ChatGPT and Meta chatbots. That means customer inquiries and quotes are handled automatically 24/7. This digital-first approach is exactly what allows them to be so incredibly agile and to undercut the competition on cost.
So what does this all add up to? Let's put it all together and look at their playbook for that absolutely pivotal year, 2026. It's a really clear two-pronged attack that's timed perfectly with the regulations. So in the first quarter, as the municipalities get out of the game, they use their AI-powered efficiency to scoop up all those newly orphaned businesses. Then, in the second quarter, as those new levies kick in, they pivot to the larger construction clients, selling their diversion service as a direct cost-saving measure. It's brilliant.
And that really just leaves us with this final thought. The story of 905 Wood is a perfect example of how massive, industry-wide disruption can create these incredible openings. It really makes you wonder, as more and more industries face this kind of rapid change, will the future belong to the established giants? Or will it belong to the lean, focused, and tech-savvy specialists who can see the storm coming and know exactly how to sail it?